Oh, guys, what's going on? And welcome in. Good morning to you. And hopefully you're having a strong start to your Monday. And I want to give a big shout out to Fade King 101. Appreciate you joining the squad, man. Thank you so much for your support and becoming an OG. So as the OGs and DGens start to filter in, make sure that you welcome in Fade King. Really appreciate him joining. And the family's growing, guys. So really appreciate the support. And hopefully, you guys, we're going to start off with some DFS because hopefully you tailed some of the plays that we shared yesterday. We cashed on a 3-leg underdog slip and a 3-leg discounted better slip yesterday. So cashed on 3 of my last 4 discounted better slips. So it's been going really well there. And same with underdog. Kind of comes in waves, guys. Sometimes you run hot with some books, you run cold. Right now with underdog and better, we're running hot. And it's been really, really good. So I have the sharp money tool pulled up. Let's see what we have going on this morning. And love to hear from you guys now that November is officially in the books. How'd it go for you? How was your November? I took one on the chin yesterday. Tough way to end the month. But all in all, it was still a very profitable month. And I'm very happy with the way November went. Irish, what's going on? Yeah, the NHL goals. No doubt about that. We've been very hot over at Dub Club with our NHL goal plays. Cashed again yesterday, which was awesome. Big shout out to Chris Kreider, my man. Love you. So let me refresh the page. I have all the popular DFS books pulled up, guys. We got Underdog, PrizePicks, Better, DraftKings, Pick 6, Parlay Play, Dabble. So I'm just going to kind of take a little peek to see what we have going on around here. The SAR play seems to be, you could play this basically on every book outside of Pick 6. It's, not optimal for me because I want to play a 3-man entry at minus, I guess it is. Somebody who wants $2,700 at minus 124 odds. So a 3-man slip, I like to play 3-mans with no insurance, so that's minus 122 across the board, whether it's PrizePicks, Underdog, or Better. So the problem here, though, is it's not a great price to FanDuel. It's a terrible price and bookmaker. So that's kind of my only problem with this play. So we come down here and look at Vooch. Same thing here with Vucevic for at least Underdog and PrizePicks. This is a little better, right? It's minus 135 on bookmaker, 125 on FanDuel. We're looking at the under 1.5 player-made threes. And somebody wants this at minus 121 for like $2,300. So I can get down with this with Vooch. We'll see. It depends if I want to play this on Underdog or PrizePicks. We'll see what pops up next. Harden on his points. This is very good to bookmaker, and somebody wants this at minus 132. So we're going to go ahead and rock this on Underdog. That's where it seems to be where we're going to hopefully find one more play. And I'll try to move as quick as I can so I could share this with you guys. What's the other one? Harden. This is over on assists. It's very good to FanDuel. And then what about Wendell Carter over on points? A little better confirmation here with this, even though he's going up against the Bulls. Let's see if we can grab the opposite of this and take the higher. Ooh, and a pretty big payout shift. Okay. I have no problem with this. All right, I'm going to share this link with you guys. 3-pick entry over here on Underdog. No problem, Irish. No problem, man. Faking said, just subscribe about the Dub Club package. So glad I found you on YouTube. I've seen a lot out there. You are extremely transparent and detailed, and I'm here for it. Appreciate that. Really appreciate that. And glad that you found some value in it. And obviously, means a lot. Thank you very much. But the idea here is really, guys, with a lot of these tools, is hopefully to teach you how to fish. And so that, you can learn how to do this on your own. But I do appreciate all the support there. And so, obviously, I'm a big fan of OddsJam. I've been with them for 4 years now, which is kind of crazy to say. But a lot of the strategies and things that we're going to talk about can be applied to really any software that you guys use. There's a lot of different, ever since 2021, 2022, when I started using OddsJam, there's been a lot of other competitors out there. So obviously I'm going to be pushing OddsJam as hard as I can because I think they're the best. And I think they're going to provide you the most value. But I also understand, depending on where your budget is and where you are, there's going to be maybe some other ones out there that might be a better fit for you. So as much as I push odds jam, really the push here for me and the goal is to teach about sharp sports betting and how you can use the software to make money for yourself. But I really appreciate that, Fade King. So let's look at Josh Morrissey. Over 1.5 shots on goal. We cook one up on underdog, guys. Let's go over to PrizePicks, see if we can get something with PrizePicks. Again, we could go back to the well and add Nikola Vucevic. I got to learn how to say that guy's name because he's on a lot of slips. You can add him to 2 different platforms and create him on 2 slips. That's pretty much my limit, right? I'm not going to go ahead and put Vooch on like 5 different slips, right? Because that's it's a really high risk, high reward type deal. So if it doesn't pan out and he doesn't cash, I'm always thinking about this in a more conservative approach, then we're going to be in a world of pain because we're going to have him on a bunch of slips. And so you want to have some exposure, but not too much. So I'm adding Morrissey on this play. Let me refresh the page a little bit. And let's come across, DeAndre Hunter. Yeah, this is good to FanDuel. It's like, but somebody wants this for $5,000 at minus 126, and that's like a lot of money this morning to have him. They want the over 16.5, so, I'll take that as a sign here on the sharp money tool. Again, guys, when you go over to like your FanDuels, your DraftKings of the world, you can't bet $5,000 on a player prop right now. Somebody on No Vig wants this at minus 126 odds for $5,000. So that's definitely a big sign to me. It's like, holy smokes. We could go back and play Harden again, but again, I like to switch it up from time to time. We could take Vooch's over on his points. How about Kevin Porter Jr.? So this is a play I'm not really crazy about. There's no sharp books out there that are offering a price, and there's only $600 on this. Demon, rebounds. It's an okay price. What was the Vooch points? Because I'm okay taking his under on threes, but his over on points because it's a little different. Minus 150 on Bookmaker. All right, I'm going to take this. It's kind of counterintuitive, guys. There is a world where maybe he hits 1 3-pointer and, scores 16 points. Maybe it's unlikely, but I'm always all right with having, I'm always open to keeping that where sports is unpredictable and you never know what happens. So we're going to cook up this slip and throw this down here. This is going to be a power play entry, guys. No insurance. PrizePicks. Let me share this with you guys. Ken, what's going on? Edge Zone, what's going on, man? Welcome to December, boys. No doubt about that. Chi-Town, good morning to you as well. Has OJ been slow lately, though? Chi-Town, obviously, so for myself, it's 7:08 in the morning, so I haven't been on the site this morning. Last night, I wasn't doing much betting last night, so I hadn't noticed much. I did do some live betting yesterday while the NFL games were going on. I didn't see any issues, but we'll take a look this morning to see how it's going thus far. Haven't noticed much, to be fair. And appreciate Edge Zone. It was on the Black Friday stream, guys. He gave out 2 shots on goal for the NHL. Both of them cashed. So again, I talk about 2 discords a lot in these streams, and Edge Zone is one of my favorites to go along with Juice Bets. Those are 2 streams that I've found immense value. I've tried some different discords in the past, and there's some other ones that aren't bad. I can't remember a couple of them. I can't remember the names of some. But those are the 2. These are the 2 that are still viable to me, that are just the best. So I really appreciate them. Let's go over and let's look for, because I'm just not seeing a ton on the sharp money tool that's got me super excited. Again, we could take, for my dabble and underdog people, Max Christie. This is definitely one I want to pay attention to here. Somebody wants this for almost $5,000 on the over 10.5 player points on Profit X at minus 132 odds. So this is really good. I like that a lot. Let me go over to the optimizer and let's go and take a look at Dabble. Because you could put this Max Christie play on a Dabble slip. 3-man entries, no insurance. Knuppel? Yeah. Well, it's hard to say yeah. Yeah, everywhere except Pinnacle doesn't like this. It's minus 114 on Pinnacle. If you wanted to play the average odds game, which is one of my favorite things to do, so take FanDuel's at odds and Pinnacle's odds and combine them together, what's the average? I would still be okay then playing this play, but taking this play on Con, a little nervous about Pinnacle, but it's fine. Same with Eamon Thompson, right? FanDuel's at 30.5 at minus 108. Pinnacle's really at minus 120 at this price. But if you're taking all the sports books' opinions, this seems to be a good play. But these are like, this doesn't happen this happens from time to time. Like these first two plays, I'm kind of like, ooh, okay. Anything else with Pinnacle's odds? You can just see I'm scrolling here, looking specifically in this column. And Nurkic over 21. Yeah, because it's 22.5 for a lot of books, or 21.5. You're getting 21. I don't mind that. Jazz Rockets. Didn't they just play yesterday? They're playing again today? It's crazy. All right, they're just not used to seeing two teams play back-to-back in the regular season just like that. But yeah, okay, so Nurkic over on his PRA if you want that. Obviously, here on McCollum, you could see a lot of books have this at 25.5, while MGM's at minus 120. I think MGM is pretty easy to beat, so I'm fine taking the McCollum play on the over. Devin Booker over on his points, 26. It's a 1.5 difference, guys, to where the books have this at, so I'm good with that as well. So some different options here for my Dabble users. Take the Max Christie over 10.5 points, and then you could fill out the rest of your entry. This is 3 picks with no insurance. Yeah, Vard. So we just shared a PrizePicks entry over there, man. So hopefully you saw the link there, because we just shared one, right? And we shared an underdog slip as well. Again, I will mention this to you guys. I really don't prefer to play DFS play slips this early in the morning. You run it's a high risk, high reward strategy. So what I mean by that is like the Max Christie play, over 10.5 points. Looks really good on the sharp money tool. But if we get word that maybe AD's playing, and I'm just making this up, but let's say Kyrie's playing, right? Max Christie's line then over 10.5 points might go down to like 8.5, right? Later on. Whereas, or the opposite, if AD's not playing, a bunch of people aren't playing, the Max Christie's line might go up to like 12 or 13.5 on his points. So typically, I like to wait until somewhere between noon to 3 p.m. Eastern to kind of really figure out what's going on with injury news with the NBA to put together slips. But obviously, that's just my personal preference. If this is the only time that you have available to sports bet today, then by all means, then this is what you have. And go cook up some slips. So we have been doing well, though, the past couple of days. So I'm very happy with how we've been doing, at least on Underdog and better. Need to get one to hit on PrizePicks for sure. So AD over 30.5 PRA. This is 31.5 on FanDuel. Pinnacle doesn't have a line set yet, so I'm not like in love with it, but we can definitely hit that up if we wanted to, right? Where I can take the Max Christie play, though. They're probably not going to like the fact that I'm taking Christie with Anthony Davis. We talked about Con, his under on his rebounds. This is his under on his rebounds and assists. So we'll add this one. And then LaMelo, not a good price to FanDuel, but it's good to Pinnacle. So you could go with Donovan Mitchell instead, under on his rebounds and assists. Okay. One thing that has been very consistent thus far for me, guys, this is going to be a different underdog slip I'll share with you guys. Ooh, no, something happened. Yeah, Max Christie just got nerfed. That's what happened. So we'll take the Anthony Davis play. One thing that's been very consistent for me this year, we mentioned it at the beginning of the stream, has been NHL goal scorers. Now, obviously, hitting the round robin on Friday really helps. Yeah, no problem, Art. Obviously, I'm not trying to tell you guys, don't bet these. It's just like if I had it my way, I would not be betting DFS slips this early in the morning. But I think I got these here. Where is it? I think I took some photos late last night. Did I not? Yeah. So we ended up having a really, really, really good month, again, for NHL goal scorers. It was a over 20% ROI, I believe. And so this is 2 straight months now, guys, of just a really, really excellent run when it comes to NHL goal scorers. And so this is definitely something similar. Now it's only 75 bets, but it's going to be similar to the to like MLB home runs, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I've noticed trying to bet some other things other than obviously Edge Zone with NHL shots on goal. And we'll get into that here in a little bit, guys. They're fantastic. I love using Edge Zone for NHL shots on goal. I've been having a hard time on my own betting really anything else for the NHL this year outside of maybe shots on goal. I don't really mess around with points all that often. We've played around with it a little bit here and there, especially on Dub Club. But I'm just kind of like, for my Dub Club people, like you guys know, like now the only thing I'm going to bet is goal scorers. So that's all you're going to receive with Dub Club because I know that we're doing really well there. So there's no point in doing anything else. Looking at Fliff here at the moment. So it's been very, very happy with how it's been going thus far with the shots on with goal scores. Edge Zone's been absolutely cranking out. Let's do 2 minimum data points because I wanted to see what those plays were from Pinnacle. Edge Zone absolutely cranks out the NHL shots on goal. Definitely something that I love to use. And, they shared a couple plays on Friday, guys. It's been a really good time. So seeing continued success with the NHL goal scorers. So that's just something where it's just confirmation again, where like, as I go deeper into the season, I'm just going to keep pushing the crap out of those and just trying to smash as much as we can. DraftKings pick 6. What do we got? Looks to be a good play here on Austin Reeves. Ryan Rollins. Yep, I like that. And Zubox. I don't mind Zubox play. Now, Anthony Black, he went nuclear a couple of games ago. But again, this under looks really good. It's minus 125 at 17.5 on FanDuel. Man, is that good. All right, so I'm going to come over here on pick 6. Looks like we got a winnings boost pack for the Giants-Patriots Monday Night Football game. Okay. Looks like Austin Reeves' play already bumped. How about Ryan Rollins? Ryan Rollins is still there. I gotta keep that. I should keep that quiet in case someone works at DraftKings and is watching the stream. 29.5 points and rebounds for Zubox. Looks like that bumped. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's points and rebounds. Yeah, that bumped. Sick. All right, great. Everything's bumping. Black, under 18.5 points and assists. Come on. That bumped as well. So everything bumped except for Ryan Rollins. Okay. Cool. Giddy on his points. That bumped as well. This is all right. Like, I'm going to start cursing like crazy if we can't get a single play. Can't make one slip. Bridges on his PRA's fine. Jalen Duren. Yeah, Duren's fine. Just not like. Okay, Tyrese Martin. Martin is like barely okay. And Ryan Rollins just bumped. Yeah, so this is insane. Is it still there or no? Yeah, it bumped. 25.5. DraftKings, man. Gotta be quick. So we get Martin, we get Bridges, Markkanen. Okay, this slip went from like I was kind of excited about this slip to this slip just kind of being like whatever. No doubt about that, man. No doubt about that. Daniel, what's going on? I know, Daniel, you and I will be talking here in about, just under an hour. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, you got to be watching. All right, so that was tough. Okay, so as we're going, before we jump into arbitrage, guys, before we jump into the sharp money tool, talking about, various different plays for just regular, FanDuel, DraftKings books. Talk about this a lot. I want to mention this a little bit more. We're talking about edge zone and what's going on over there. And so a good example of this is, over on their Discord here, right? This is some plays that you'll find from edge zone. I know Irish is over there. They have some different plans, guys, like the Matrix. We talked about this before. I understand that you don't have unlimited funds and you can spend the money everywhere. But this is a Logan Stankoven play from yesterday. And you can see that they're telling you, hey, this has a 6% edge. He plays for Carolina. Bet the over 1.5 shots on goal. The fair value of this bet is minus 221. They tell you the sports book right now that you could go bet this at, which is FanDuel. But then they give you a range right here. And they say, hey, listen, you could bet this anywhere between minus 184 to minus 190. And basically, you want to bet to win a unit. So it's a juicy play. It means you have to put up 1.84 units to make 1 unit, right? But this is kind of what you're receiving with their matrix plays, right? This can come down here by NHL. They got the NFL. They got the NBA. Same thing here, guys, with the NBA. This is obviously an old play, but it's the same thing. You're getting told, hey, listen, you could bet Clarkson between minus 122 to minus 128 on his under PRA. Minus 144 is the fair value over at FanDuel. So the cool thing about this tool, guys, and with their matrix plays, is they're giving you like this range here in Larson. Like, look at this. This is, you could play this between minus 123 to minus 167. So the idea behind this play is this is more of a bottom-up sports betting approach where they have a model and it says, listen, you can go over. So once you see this Larson play, you just go over and try to find a make this play on a book where the odds fall in this gap, right? So it's not like you just have to bet this at DraftKings or you just have to bet this at BetMGM. They give you a solid range on these plays, which is like, go find this anywhere where you can get this down. And a lot of times, guys, with Edge Zone, we're betting into the sharp books. We're betting into Bet 105 and Bookmaker. Bet 105 meaning Pinnacle or Bet Online or Props Builder, right? You can bet into these books where you can at least get a lot of money down on these plays. Now, outside of this, the prop zone, the game zone, right? You can choose your sports book. You want to just look at plays for FanDuel, okay? And they're going to tell you, these are obviously some old plays. Let me catch up to like the newest play. Let's see. This is Saints money line. They don't have the graph for this yet. Where's a good graph? Right here. Blues and the Ducks. This was yesterday, right? But they're going to tell you, hey, bet the over 6.5. You could bet this at FanDuel. Best odds are plus 116. The fair value is plus 110. It's an EV edge of almost 3%. Pinnacle's at plus 109, right? And you're going to receive alerts automatically. So they also have various contributors in here. Arb Father's in here, Arbologist. Salt's a great NBA guy. Micah is a great college football guy. Got a UFC guy. These are all guys that are originators, okay? They're all coming up with their own plays. UFC guy, Micah, Salt Covers. These guys are coming up with, they have their own models, and they're telling you, yo, just like go bet these plays right now. You got some good guys in the DFS world like Alexis and Stack to Stacks, West Coast Arbs. A lot of good stuff coming over here. So always want to talk really highly about Edge Zone because it's something that I use and I really enjoyed a lot. They're awesome. I mean, it was created by the Arb Father and Arbologist. So really good stuff over there. I'll drop some links if you guys want to check them out. We're going to tee up all the rec books on the Sharp Money tool right now. And so, as I mentioned before, if you guys use OddsJam right now, it could be another decent financial commitment to go ahead and use Edge Zone. If you guys don't use OddsJam and you want to try out a really solid Discord, I haven't seen anywhere where they're really going off of Pinnacle's liquidity. And once Pinnacle's liquidity jumps up in price, so when Pinnacle starts taking more liquidity, you'll start to see movement from the sharp books, kind of like steam chasing, and it's really, really quick, and it's awesome. So I'll drop some links here in the chat here, guys, in a minute, because they do have some various different plans, and definitely want to take a look at that. So we're talking about the Vooch play on his threes. Somebody has this. I'll break this down for those of you that are kind of new. Let me get out of the player props, though. We want to look at main markets. But we'll just talk about this for Vooch for a second. So, the sports books out there like Novig and ProfitX, you can literally wager whatever you want. That's the beauty about this. So if I'm Alex Monahan, why would I go bet at BetMGM when I can only wager like $5 on a player prop? Why wouldn't I want to go over to ProfitX and Novig when I can wager $1 trillion? Literally, bet whatever you want. So the idea is that the professional sports bettors, the ones that have, a $500,000 or $100,000 bankroll and higher, right? They want to go over to the exchanges, right? Just like with EdgeZone, if you have a model that tells you, hey, bet this Josh Giddey play at anywhere between -123 and -170, then I'll go set a price over here on the exchange and put $10,000 down and be very happy that probably most of my order will get filled. So because of this infinite amount of money that you can bet on these exchanges, we have insight now to this with OddsJam Sharp Money Tool. We can say, somebody wants Vooch at -121. They're offering you to let him bet his over 1.5 threes at +121. They want the opposite. They want the under 1.5 threes, and they want this at -121 odds. Well, the Sharp Money Tool tells us where we can get a better price than what these guys want this at, right? So somebody wants this at -115 for 2,700. Well, we can bet this at SportsZeno at -110. But what I like to use this tool is I say to myself, okay, this person wants it at -115. This person wants it at -121. Man, if I could find this even a few cents off of -121, like a FanDuel at -125, I would go bet that. Or I'd bet this at Hard Rock or SportsZeno, right? But I know most of you can bet this over at FanDuel at -125 odds. This is only 4 cents off to what this bettor wants it as. It's a bit of a range. I'm willing to take a little bit of a range there, but I want that, right? That's what I want. So all day when it comes to the Sharp Money Tool, again, this is a different opinion. Sometimes these plays on these tools are very EV. We're going to look at some mainline markets right now. But sometimes these aren't. These aren't at all. So, Pinnacle's taking $5,000 on the Suns play. But, so this isn't necessarily a sharp money play because there's only about $4,000 out there. People want the Suns at +5.5. But you can get this over at Ballybet at -109, which is, what is that? 12 cents off to Pinnacle, which anything that's 8 cents above the price of Pinnacle and higher, like that's really good. So Ballybet's at -109, Pinnacle's at -121. That's a difference of 12 cents. If it's 8 cents difference or higher, 9, 10, 11, 12, that's a plus EV. That's a play we want to go after. That's a play that I'm interested in. And it's 1 cent off to being a low hold over here on Pinnacle. The plus odds number and the minus odds number, when they're exactly the same on opposite sides, that's a low hold. It's a really good play. This is still a very low hold play. So all day long, guys, you want to bet this on Ballybet or Bet Rivers. I understand we're making plays that are really early in the morning when this plays at 8 p.m. But the idea here is that this is just, you can get way more money down on this mainline market than you can for player props. So if you were going to load up on a play, I would load up. Now, I can't bet this anymore over at Ballybet because I'm fairly limited, but that would be a play that I would definitely go after. So you can see Pinnacle's limit here, 5K, 5K, 75K on the Giants-Patriots spreads, right? So someone wants to bet this for $2,500. I don't. That's not enough money for me to be excited about this play. Even here, $9,500. Somebody wants the Giants +6.5 at +117 odds. I don't really care. It's not quite. It's not from the sharp money perspective. Like when we're like, wow, someone has a lot of money down. This isn't a lot of money compared to what Pinnacle's taking. But getting this play at +117 odds over at maybe a Bet Openly. This is 9, 10 cents off to Pinnacle. It's a main market play. Again, kind of interested there. It's only 7 cents off to Bookmaker. If you're getting this at +117, +116 on Bet Openly, it's only 6 cents off. That's a little bit below our threshold. So this play is just okay for me. Again, +6.5, not nearly as good as +7 or +7.5. So play at your own risk, but you can grab that over at Bet Openly, which is, again, another peer-to-peer book. So I know for some of you that are regulars here, I do apologize. This is a lot of talking and me going through the tools, but we do have some new users in here, and I want to make sure that they kind of understand, because I don't want to just assume that everybody in the stream just automatically knows how this goes, because then that'll really deter you from ever really using the tool. Speaking of money line plays here, Suns on the money line. Now, as we start to expand our odds a little bit more, which I mean, plus 175 compared to like a minus 110, 8 to 9 cents isn't quite good enough. Here, though, getting this at FanDuel plus 190, and this is almost 20. This is 19 cents off to Pinnacle, which is incredible. This is just a great play, guys, on FanDuel. So I'm going to sprinkle something right now on the Suns money line. This isn't so much a sharp money play because of the liquidity. This is just like you're getting a really good price at FanDuel compared to the rest of the books. So, and again, I love betting over at FanDuel because even though I'm severely limited over there, I can still get some good money down. So I'm going to sprinkle a little Suns money line. This didn't work out for us earlier this week with the Browns on the money line, but again, it was a longer shot play. We had a moment. No, plus 176. Let me make sure I double check this. Yeah, it's gone. Damn. She gone, but that was a good play. That was very good. I also have the NHL pulled up here as well. Can I get this anywhere else outside of Circa? Penguins money line. They're taking on the Flyers. Not really. And this is barely a good play, too, for my hometown Pens. But still don't mind this over here, guys, on the Sun spread if you want that. Okay. Where do I got this over at here? Let me see. There we go. All right, so for those of you that want to check this out, like I said, there's various different plans. This will kind of be the first one. This is the $97 a month plan. Dr. Slips, great question. So the answer is you would think so, but so I'm dropping every different link, guys, that I drop here for Edge Zone is a different plan that they have. Starting, the top link is the cheapest, going from the cheapest to the most expensive. So good question, Dr. Slips. But what you have to understand, I think you do, man. So I don't want to say like you don't understand. But for anyone out there, the reason that these sports books really don't change their models, because at FanDuel and DraftKings, all these books, if they just dumped more money into their models, they could easily like kind of squeeze us sharp bettors, us top-down bettors out the door, is that they're making so much money from 99.5% of the general public, and us sharp bettors are about that big. We're about that big. So their business, it's just easier for them, I think, is they don't really have to change their model, and they can then just kick us winning bettors, basically limit us to pennies, and the beat goes on. So that's my analysis of why they don't really ramp up and try to improve their models at all. And it's just been it's so apparent how bad all these sports books models are when it comes to live betting. It's almost laughable with live betting in certain times when you're watching these books move and you're like, oh my God, is anyone even working at this book? So let's head over to the arbitrage tool. Let's kind of refresh the arbitrage page. So, the books could definitely squeeze us out if they wanted to like just really ramp up their model. But the truth is that they don't really need to, because this current ecosystem that we live in, it works for them until something changes. And I don't know when that will happen, but yeah, it is funny. It's definitely funny. So for arbitrage betting, you're going to see these plays pop up here on the screen. And so a couple different scenarios. Number one, if this is the only time of the day that you can arbitrage bet, go grab these plays, go smash them. You're going to get limited, probably a little bit quicker, but at the end of the day, you're going to get limited no matter what. So go make as much money as you possibly can. If you can wait until an hour, 90 minutes before the game starts and this is not just for the NBA guys, NFL, MLB, NHL, every sport. If you can wait 60 to 90 minutes before the game starts, that is going to put a little bit more camouflage on you as a sports bettor, in my opinion, because you're betting closer to game time. But in order for an arbitrage play to be out there for pre-match, one sportsbook has to be way off to the rest of the market. Now, no vig, go bet this over at no vig because no vig doesn't care, right? No vig doesn't limit you ever. That's why we love no vig. But Hard Rock here is way out to lunch, and you can still bet this over at SportsZeno, and it's an ARB on Fanatics and MGM. It's just not quite as good of an ARB. It's really not worth your time to bet this ARB. So that's the overall, the fundamental maybe problem that you want to say is that in order for an arbitrage play to be possible, one book has to be out to lunch, and they just never came back, right? We all have that coworker that just never came back to work that one day. So Hard Rock will realize that, you got one on them. You got a really good price. So that's why live arbitrage betting is the best for your account health, but it's also the hardest out of all the strategies. So pre-match is going to be your best bet in terms of actually executing the strategy and finding plays, but it just depends on when you go after these plays. Now, if you can find a scenario, guys, like here, Polymarket and ProfitX, granted, there's only $22 on ProfitX. This is the holy grail of arbitrage betting because these two books, they don't care. They'll never limit you. These are two books. This is the ideal perfect scenario. Polymarket and ProfitX, they'll never limit you. So if you can find no vig and Kalshi ARBs, dude, that's where you can quit your day job and do this full time, right? So we really want the exchanges to become more popular because more exchanges means that we can bet unlimited amounts of money on the exchanges and we can arbitrage bet without ever getting limited. That's the path, that little itty bitty path, that platform 9 3/4 for my Harry Potter fans. That's the path to be able to do this forever, is the exchanges. Don't normally find too many opportunities where the exchanges line up together and you can arb them, but that's the path. So, or even if you could use, ProfitX and like Bookmaker, the sharp book, right? That's never really going to, they'll limit you. They might limit you, but they won't limit you too much, or they just won't limit you, right? That's really what you want to look for. So more times than not, it's just going to be a rec book and a sharp book, right? But the key here is like Circa is never going to limit you. BetMGM will limit you. So if you're looking to try to optimize this bet, make sure that you're placing an optimal bet for Stephon Diggs. Maybe it's $70, maybe it's $100, right? Who cares what you bet on Circa because they're not going to limit you. So just bet 144 over at Circa. Understanding your sports books, guys, is going to be very important in trying to create longevity. And the real truth of the matter is we're going to head over to the Positive EV tool. The truth is, guys, is that most people don't really truly learn the ropes of arbitrage and how to, finesse these sports books until you're already, limited on your personal accounts. That's the honest truth. Well, I forgot one other thing, guys. Middle betting. You want to make sure we look at some middle betting opportunities. Mainline markets is what I have teed up. So the middle betting tool, guys, again, you want to try OddsJam 1 week for free? Use code Billy35. You're going to get a 1 week free trial and save 35% off your first month. Also, to anyone in the chat, let me know if anyone in the chat's from Missouri, because guess what, Missouri is now legal today for sports betting. So just for everyone else out there, you're going to see a bunch of OddsJam people talking about Missouri because it's a big deal. We haven't had a state legalize in a while, and Missouri, finally we get another one cross the goal line. Today's the day you can now legally bet in the state of Missouri. And so middle betting is going to be one of your best friends. We're just looking at mainline markets for today. I haven't touched anything else on these filters. It's an extremely simple setup. And we're just looking for plays between books. So obviously Thrills is off here. But outside of Thrills, Ballybet and Bracco, right? You can hit these different middle bets up. If this is still out there on Thrills, you could do this on FanDuel, Iona, and Delaware. You could load up on this play. Try to bet $500 on Thrills. Mess around with the numbers. See if I can get this at like 525 there. 525, 455. I understand this is a crazy amount of money, guys, but why would I tell you to bet a crazy amount of money? Because you're going to make $21 no matter what happens. Doesn't matter what the score is in this game, you're going to make $21. But if the score is exactly 156 points, you get your bet refunded to you on Thrills because it's a push. but you win the over on FanDuel, and you'll make, what, $600 in profit. It's really, really good, right? So this is why with middle betting guys, when you find positive percentages with middle bets, load up, bet a ton of money, because it's an arbitrage play with a small chance of winning both bets or one bet. Now, if you come down here to the negative percentages, so Bracco and Ballybet here with the Bulls and the Magic, this is where you're really just wagering a small amount of money. So for those of you that are new, would highly advise to check this strategy out. So let's say you bet $250 on Ballybet and $220 on Bracco. So you're in for $470, okay? But really, you're wagering $2 in change on this play. Here's why. If there's any other score, any score at all, you're going to lose $2. But if the exact score is 238 points, which you can see the odds range here, that's definitely a chance, then you get your bet refunded to you on Ballybet because it's a push, and you win the under on Bracco. And so you make like over $200 in profit. So really, you're just, so no, if anything else happens, you lose $2. So you're really wagering $2 to have a chance to make 240 some dollars in profit. That's middle betting, guys. So these negative percentage plays, if you bet a large amount, again, if you don't have $250 to bet, you want to bet $50 and bet 44, you're wagering 41 cents to have a chance at making what, $50 in profit if you win the bet on Bracco. So this is what we're talking about here, right? I have never heard anyone give me a hard time and talk shit to me about middle betting because it just makes sense, right? If you can find positive percentage plays, this just makes sense to bet as much as you possibly can on these plays because you're going to have a chance. Eventually, you will hit one of these. Mark my words, no doubt about it. You stay within a range like this, you will definitely hit a few middle bets in your time using OddsJam. Yeah, Irish, I still have to load up the score. I withdrew all my money out yesterday from ESPN Bet, which I'm still expecting limits on the score, but we'll check it out. Ooh, speaking of the Bulls and the Magic, right now, guys, on the positive EV tool. And if you guys are finding any of this information valuable, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. As we are past 8,000 subs, we're pushing towards 9. And my next big goal, which is 10,000. Really excited about that. So we're looking at just mainline markets. I like to bet mainline markets early in the morning. If you are, by the way, if you're limited on your sports books, bet any and everything and bet as much as you can on that account responsibly, obviously. But no pun intended, all bets are off, guys. Once you're limited on a sports book, you basically already got caught, right? So who cares? You already got caught. The sports book's already found out that you're smart and you're sharp. So just keep betting as much as you possibly can, obviously within your means, right? But don't worry about trying to like round your bet sizes once you're limited. Just get as much money as you possibly can and make off that account. Minus 150, plus 130. We're looking at Pinnacle worst case. I got the NHL and the NBA main markets teed up at the moment, right? So this looks to be just a wonderful opportunity over here. A couple of different plays. If we type in the Bulls, you're going to see all Bulls plays. Obviously, when I'm looking at all of these plays, I want to go after the easiest leg to hit. And over 238.5 is the easiest one to hit. Not even close. Okay, it's the easiest leg, right? Because if they score, or you could bet the over 239. Because if they score, bet the over 238 and the over 239. Because if 239 points are scored in the game, guys, then this bet's refunded to you. It's a push, but you win the over, right? So little things like this. You don't want to bet the over 239.5 because then you're going to miss out on this and this, right? These two would lose. So bet the over 239 and the over 238.5. Knowing that worst case scenario, now you could lose both bets, right? That's the other side. But you could also win one's a push, or win both. But also, if you just want to play it simple, just take the easiest leg. Take the over 238.5 and move on, right? A lot of other opportunities here. If you bet every single one of these plays, you are, there's a couple different outcomes that could happen, but I always think about this as like, what if these two teams only scored 205 points? Then I'm a very sad panda crying in my soup because I lost all of these plays. So laddering these plays is very high risk, very high reward. So that's kind of the first thing I like to do when I see that play pop up on the Bulls. I like to see like, okay, well, what's the easiest leg to hit? Jets and Sabres. This might be the only one out there, but this is the under 6. It's a flat number. Again, but it looks very good on BallyBet compared to where Pinnacle is at plus 103. Again, 11-cent difference, guys. Anything that's 8 cents or more, it's a solid play. You can get this over at BetParks. I'd also bet this on BetRivers, even though if it's just at plus 112, it's still fine by me, right? The over 231 of the Rockets and the Jazz. This is across BetRivers, BallyBet. They all have the same price. It's only 3 cents off. Let's take a look at some line movement here. You can see Pinnacle's taking $3,000. Yes, sir. This is exactly what we want. Another confirmation that this is a really good play. Again, it's not a guarantee that it's going to win, guys, but all you can do right now in this moment is make the best decision that you can with the information that you have available to you. And so what we see is a really sharp sports book that just dropped off a cliff within the last 50 to 45 minutes. Pinnacle is at minus 129. They moved 10 cents to minus 139. This play now just got more expensive to make money on over at Pinnacle. You can now bet this over at BallyBet or BetRivers. Over 231. Movement from a sharp sports book like Pinnacle is the recipe that you want to go bet these at. Honestly, you could probably go bet this at Bookmaker, which I might try to do, because if you're limited like I am, then just go over to Bookmaker. Now, over at Bookmaker, one thing that I definitely want to take a look at is I'm interested just to see what their limits are at the moment. Typically, guys, I talk a lot about Bookmaker for college basketball and college football. I don't talk about Bookmaker a ton for betting the NBA mainline total points because Pinnacle's normally taking more money than Bookmaker is on these games. So if I'm taking a look at the Rockets and the Jazz, the over 231.5, at the moment, Bookmaker's taking $3,500. So they're taking actually $500 more than Pinnacle. But seeing Pinnacle's movement here is really good. And by the way, the main line for Bookmaker is 232.5 on this Jazz Rockets game. We're paying a little bit of extra juice on this BetRivers BallyBet, but still, I'm in on that all day long. I'm pretty limited on BallyBet, so I don't think they're going to let me wager much. But this is a very good play, Rockets Jazz. Bet this over. There's just a lot of things that I like seeing from this play. Confirmation from a sharp sports book. Let me refresh this page. What else do we have? Hawks and the Pistons. Same thing. Over 231.5. Minus 125 odds. Now again, guys, with these plays, right? If we find out that, this is early in the morning. If we find out that like Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, Jalen Johnson, I don't know, maybe they were all hanging out last night and they got food poisoning, right? Then this total is obviously, and they're not playing tonight, this total is going to plummet, right? So injury news can definitely affect the lines. We're looking at what? Hawks Pistons over 231.5. Over on BallyBet, we're looking at what? Minus 125 odds. It's now, yeah, here it is. Bingo. I don't know. What can I wager? $8.67. Yeah, it's a tough one. That's a tough one over there. Okay. That's definitely a tough one for sure. Is what it is. That's fine. We'll go over on BetRivers and we'll throw this bet down. And I'll also grab this bet on the over on the Jazz play because I like that Jazz. All right, so over 231.5. Let me see the line movement here, see what's going on. Again, another confirmation. Look at Pinnacle. And so this is kind of what we want to focus in on, guys. So let's talk about why certain books this is so clutch. Okay, look who moved first. The book that moved first is Pinnacle. Okay, all the way back here. They moved back here at this 1 hour mark ago. Look at Pinnacle. The purple line moved first. Look who copied Pinnacle after Pinnacle moved. Bookmaker then moved. But who moved first? Pinnacle moved back here, then Bookmaker moved, and then FanDuel moved. So literally, first sharp book that moved, then they moved, then they moved. You can see it cascading like a domino effect. 1, 2, 3. Sharp book, rec book. It's just all there, man. So we're going to go the over 231.5. Again, this is a lower edge play, but because of all this movement, guys, I'm going to try to bet as much as I possibly can over here on Bet Rivers. They're going to let me bet $151.80. So I'll just take them for $150, which is fine by me. And I will get limited, guys, on Bet Rivers doing this. Okay, there's no doubt about that. But I'm going to try to make as much money as I possibly can on this sports book before they shut the door on me, right? Knowing, guys, also knowing that I have a Desert Diamond account that I haven't nuked yet, right? So I have one more account that's ready to go. So luckily in the state of Arizona, like my Bally Bet account's pretty much toast. I'm working on my Bet Rivers account now, right? But I have a Desert Diamond account that I haven't really messed around with too much. So that would be the account, guys, like the Desert Diamond, that I would place the SGP. You know, we talked about this yesterday, the shitty promos that are terrible but are good for account health. That's what I'm doing over at Desert Diamond, right? I'm trying to prime that account a little bit more so that in another month, I have that account ready to go to bet. That's kind of how this works, right? This is the kind of the next progressions and the levels. This is what you get with me working one-on-one with coaching, which Daniel and I are going to be talking here in about 25 minutes or so. This is how the progression goes with coaching, is lining up your sports books and figuring out how to attack them strategically, right? That's what's very important. Trying to get squeeze the most juice out of these accounts. All right, so I'm going to go bet this over 231 on this Rockets Jazz play. Minus 122. See what we can get down over here. And they'll let me bet $148. Okay. So we are in for my max, and I appreciate that with Bet Rivers. They'll tell you the max wager before I even bet it. I'd love to bet more, but I can't. All right, so that's the NBA and the NHL. We're just kind of taking a little peek there on some mainline markets. Another market, guys, that I would definitely peep out in advance, next 7 days. Let's just go custom. Let's go from here to here. Is we would definitely take a look at college football and the NFL, right? So the reason that I like to bet early in the weeks and really, the best reason why I like to bet early in the week, guys, is this is when you can actually beat the NFL. A lot of your friends will tell you that like the NFL is like impossible to beat sports betting, and that's not the case. You can definitely beat the NFL, but you don't want to try to beat the NFL 30 minutes before kickoff. You don't want to do that. Where you want to beat the NFL is right now for next week. So this is where you can get really good value looking at the college football slate, and it breaks my heart to say that the regular season is over for college football. Obviously, we have conference championship games coming up. Got some really good matchups coming up here this weekend, but I'm sad that it's a reduced slate of games. It just came and went so quickly. A lot of hard rock, but again, you could bet these over on Bally Bet Rivers. This is a good number. Steelers plus 7.5. I know my Steelers stink. I'm very sad this morning. But Pinnacle's at minus 141. Now, the movement here is from Bookmaker, because I really was going to go place this bet on Bookmaker, because plus 7.5 is a good number to be on for football. But we'll see. Speaking of this, Miami plus 3.5 on Kalshi. Oh, guys. Better beat me to the spot. I'm going over to Kalshi right now to bet this. Again, another exchange type of book. Really good number to be on here with Miami plus 3.5. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. But I'm probably going to grab this. Let me see. Who are they playing? That's the easier one. They're playing Western Michigan. Where is it at? Timeline payout, we just got this. Where's the spreads? Yeah, those are the games, but where's the spreads? This is where knowing how to navigate this sportsbook, guys, is a lot better. You're going to beat me to the punch because I have no idea where this spread play is unless it's gone. Because if it's going to be anywhere, it's going to be here. But if you guys can grab this on Kalshi, I definitely would. Because this is a very good play to Pinnacle and a bookmaker. Okay, Pasta Skunky. What's going on, man? What's going on, bro? We're just looking at some mainline markets here. We're going to come back and take a look at the optimizer once more for some DFS to kind of finish things out. BYU plus 14.5. What do we got here? This is almost a ARB to Pinnacle. What's bookmaker on this BYU game right now? We're looking at what? Plus 14.5 for BYU? Yeah, actually, bookmaker's taking almost $6,000 on this play. So this, again, guys, why I like to use bookmaker for college. We are on Pinnacle at the moment. Under 48.5, Colts, Jaguars. Yeah, DraftKings. This is a great play. Can't get this at Onyx. I wish we could because I'd bet this at Onyx right now. But very good play over here on DraftKings. It's a low hold and no vig at the moment. Yeah, I'm in on this one. If you guys want to bet this under on DraftKings, Jaguars, I understand. If you're limited on DraftKings, go bet this. If you're not limited, probably don't want to bet this. It's too early in the week. But again, this is how you beat the NFL. This is how you can do it. Okay, we got some different options there. Good to see. Good to see. Let's look at the optimizer here. Let's come back over to PrizePicks. What do we got? Yeah, not much going on for Pinnacle's odds at the moment. Obviously, too early in the morning. That's kind of the problem. Let's look at our underdog. Brandon Miller. Okay, I like the Brandon Miller play. Yeah, Gillespie here. This isn't bad at all. Underdog is actually kind of decent. I got two plays that I'm definitely in on at the moment. Let's go there. Brandon Miller, we want is over 18.5. LaMelo's, it's okay. Ooh, Reed Shepard under on assist. All right, guys, here's a little, shit, I need my location. Son of a gun. Come on. Disable developer mode in your browser and try again. Bro, I've been on here for a minute. Guys, go bet this play right now if you can. Gillespie over 19.5 PRA. Brandon Miller over 18.5 points. Reed Shepard under 4.5 assists. I literally have to open this up again and do this whole thing over again. This is dumb. Finally. Rick, I know, man. I know, brother. I know you can't find it, but at the time, that's the best I can do right now until I finally got it to work. I understand the link makes things so much easier, but when my hands are tied, that's the best I can do. All right, another question at the moment. All right, so yeah, I like that one on underdog. Even if it is for a 3-pick slip, I'm still fine with that. I still really like that. Let's look at some better plays. What do we got over here? We do got some discounts on better, by the way. Didn't share them earlier, but Drake May, Joker, we got a couple different discounts there. Let's go over to 3-mans. Let's see what we have cooking. Drake May under on his passing attempts. I would probably take the Joker discount then with Drake May on his passing attempts. I like that. So let's go Joker over on his PRA. And then we can look at Drake May under 30.5. Okay. And then what's our last one we can grab here? Irish, no, no, I don't think I did. I don't know if we forgot to do it on Thursday. I can't remember. But if you did, awesome, man. I definitely did not. Let's go Jason Zucker. To not get a point tonight. All right. This is one of the boosts over here, guys. We're taking the discount, not boost, the discount play with Joker. 3-pick perfect entry on Better. Let me share this link with you guys. There it is. Nice. Okay. All right, guys, that's where we're going to kind of conclude things for today. I'm going to be hopping on a call here with Daniel in about 10 minutes or so for coaching. So appreciate you guys hanging out. And we'll be back on today at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Looking at some Monday Night Football bets. Looking at there's going to be a lot of player. It's going to be a very heavy focused player prop betting stream. Looking at the NBA, and we'll peep some maybe college basketball plays. Not too much going on for college hoops, though, tonight. NHL for sure. And looking at then the NFL for the Patriots-Giants Monday Night Football game. You guys have an awesome morning, afternoon, and I'll chat with you guys a little bit later. Take care.